The next DJI drone. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing our thoughts and sharing what we think the next DJI drone is going to be. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. One of the things that I wanted to spend the last few minutes talking about tonight was the next DJI drone, okay? Now, we know, hearing from Lauren, we're not going to see anything until April, okay? Which we all know.
That's usually a month or something gets released from DJI, so that makes sense, Bill.
Exactly. Okay, it kind of really fits in line. Okay, now I think, and I think I can agree with you. I think you guys would probably agree with me. I think we're going to see some kind of DJI Avata 2, something along those lines with improvements. What do you guys think?
We've been thinking, and the first thing out of the gate for DJI this year will be some kind of an FPV drone. That's been a narrative for quite a while now. I have no inside information or anything like that to confirm any of that, but that's what we've heard. Marcus?
I'll be damned if I know.
Well, we're all kind of, we all kind of think that's going to be, that's just, just off the, we're just shooting at the hip.
I mean, because they're the drones, like the original FPV drone is probably the longest drone in the line that has been updated. Well, not counting the Phantom 5 and Spark 2. And even the Avata is much older in line than, say, the Air, or the Mavic, or the Mini. So they're the drones most due for it.
They're kind of long in the tooth.
We're just going on basically math here.
Yeah, but it's just kind of, they're just kind of long in the tooth and really are in need of an update, I think. Okay,
when we had Eddie on last night, he was complaining about the Avata 2's lack of the dynamic range in the camera that is not even on par with, say, the Mini 4 or something.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Those cameras need to start to come up to the level of say like the Mini 4 Pro,
the Mini drone,
and the Mini drones, okay, because they're not there yet. And I think that's one of the things, as people get more comfortable with drones like the Avata, and we see now that a lot more people are coming on board. DJI is going to have to get their technology ramped up and get their cameras better and get them to where it's near the quality of, say, like a Mini 4 Pro right now. Okay.
Right. Because so many people do the self-built FPVs where they put the better cameras on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're kind of in agreement about that. And this is just purely conjecture here. Okay. But I think after that, okay, what do you guys think would be on DJI's radar next after, say, an FPV drone?
Well, they've in the past few years, we've seen a new DJI Mini. So I would guess around October, November or so, we'll see a Mini 5. What they could do with it. Everybody says a 1-inch sensor. Okay, boy, that's a big ask to put on a sub 250 gram drone, but who knows? Whatever it is, it'll be fun and we'll love it.
Yeah, a lot of us don't think the Air 3S is coming, but would they release a Mini 5 with a 1-inch sensor and have the Air 3 be at a smaller sensor size? Do you think that would happen?
That's a good question. That's
another great point, Ron. Yeah, they probably would. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
And to answer the original question, Bill, what if, for instance, they don't update the Mavic 3 Pro this year? Say the Mavic 4 is not coming until 2025. And what if they don't make an Air 3S this year? They just put an Air 4 out in 2025. Could you see the possibility of maybe 2 FPV drones being released kind of this spring and summer?
I need to stop you guys
in the fall.
I need to stop you guys all right there, because there's one guy that knows better than us, and he's saying 3 new drones, and he's saying no 1-inch sensor on a Mini.
That's not surprising because, again,
I didn't want you to, Ron, you were going on, and I thought, You know what? Lauren's the guy that knows.
Yeah. Well, again, I remember I'm the one who threw that out. Could they release a mini drone with a 1-inch sensor and not have a 1-inch sensor Air 3?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Well, here, and I want to throw this out too, okay? Because the mentioned original Mavic 3, okay, that's getting a little long in the tooth, okay, and the DJI
it's discontinued,
right?
The original Mavic 3 is gone.
It's gone. Okay.
The Mavic 3 Pro, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus. Mavic 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Classic are still in production. Is that correct?
They are, and yeah. That Mavic 3 Pro.
But the original Mavic 3 is kaput. I mean, you can still buy it as refurb and use it, whatever, but it's out of the line, Bill. So you are right. It's very long in the tooth.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is this, okay? If DJI decides to do a Mavic 4, all right, they're going to come out. You'll see a DJI RC Pro 2 with that. I can just about guarantee you that, okay?
Yeah.
And and you'll probably see a new OcuSync with this as well too. All right. Which will beg the question, it'll be the first question that everybody will ask. Okay. Will that be compatible with my Air 3? Will that be compatible with my Mavic 3 Pro? Okay. No. It's going forward. It's going forward here. It's not, looking back. And I think that,
well, if the Mavic 4 comes out this summer, it'll get the OcuSync 4 that we already have. If it comes out in 2025, that could be OcuSync 5 by then.
And all of a sudden, our friend up in North Texas is playing Sergeant Schultz on us.
I know nothing. Hey, let me ask you both, you guys. You guys are both fans of the Mavic. Do you think DJI maybe kind of messed up a little last time with the Mavic 3? Do you think the very first Mavic 4 will be the Mavic 4 Pro? Why not release your best version of the drone first?
Well, Ron, you've schooled me on that before, that's kind of DJI's history, although they didn't do it with the Mavic 3. But the way you've explained it to me is typically the big dog is first, and then the lesser ones come after.
Yeah, so do you think they'll go back to their old way of releasing the Mavic 4 Pro? We'll see that first?
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. But I know what I want to see on that drone.
Oh,
Go
I know
ahead.
too.
Go ahead.
I know exactly.
It's the same thing. Probably the same thing Chuck was talking about on drone therapy last week.
Darn right. The optical
zoom lens.
Yeah.
I don't need 3, 4, 5 lenses on a giant gimbal. Just give me that zoom with that range from whatever 20 to 80 or whatever,
So but think of the challenge that is for an engineer on a drone. Because you're hanging that thing off of a gimbal, and so that gimbal is going to have to somehow know, as that leverage increases, that weight goes further out, that it has to add more strength to hold that camera up. Yeah, that's quite
they're going to have to use the Apple technology like in the iPhone 15 Pro and have a zoom lens that doesn't move.
Yeah. Well, Ron, that's not exactly true, because what Apple does is they're switching between lenses just like we do, and when you're in between, when I'm in between the 2x or the 2x and the 5x, it's just cropping on one of those sensors. It's not.
Yeah, but back to the main thing. They've got to develop some sort of a zoom lens that doesn't hang way out or whatever. You know what I mean? It's got to it's almost. It has to be extended to begin with and just moves internally. That way, it won't have to rebalance weight.
I know. I'm with you. It's an engineering challenge.
Bill, this is the engineering 101 show here. Yeah. Mark's got our engineering degrees at the Motel 6.
Yeah.
Or we'll get our engineering degrees down at the South Florida Drone Meetup down at the hotel.
Right. I'll get it verified at the Hampton.
The Hampton Inn. We'll have our engineering drone engineering 101 down there. But you guys make some valid points here, okay? And it is an engineering challenge for DJI to come up with these things, okay? For example, okay, say like a Mini 5 Pro, okay? And we were talking about that a little earlier with a 1-inch sensor, okay? But yet, that weight limit is so important, and so important in Canada over in Europe, okay, and outside this country, it makes a big difference over there for their rules and regulations and how they fly these drones. So it's a real challenge for them. Plus,
hey, Bill, I don't have any. I don't have the specs written down here, but you have the Pocket 3. Does the gimbal and camera head on that look that much bigger than what's on the Mini 4?
No.
So it doesn't seem like it's that. I mean, I may be all wrong. It may weigh more. It may be actually, but just on the look test, the naked eye test, the 1-inch sensor in the Pocket 3 doesn't look much better than what's on the front, bigger than what's on the front of the Mini 5. I mean, Mini 4.
Yeah, just eyeballing it. Yeah, I agree with you, Ron. Yeah. It's just
it doesn't seem like impossible. It seems like in the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I would agree with something like that. I think it would be in the realm of possibility. And again, they also have the challenge as far as the battery is concerned. All right, because they'll want to they want to really watch that weight limit, but yet and here we go again, when we had the two versions of the battery and, RID is in one, RID is in the other one, now is a whole can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they can rectify that, but they released a Mini 5. They should release a Mini 5 and a Mini 5 Pro. The Mini 5 only runs on the 250 gram or under batteries or whatever, and the other drone runs on the heavier batteries. So in other words, hobbyists, you buy the Mini 5. Professional pilot, you buy the Mini 5 Pro. And one is under 250 gram, the other isn't. But guys, you realize if they could put a 1-inch sensor on the Mini 5 Pro and maybe beef up a couple other ones, once that thing in a 1-inch sensor, that would be even professional. The other drones would suffer because everybody would buy that. If that drone had that camera quality on it, that drone would be the drone, maybe the only drone I'd have.
That's a good point. I can't argue that, And we talk about this, and I'm looking at some of the guys in the chat, and I'm trying to find that one that just okay. Air 3 so versatile, hard to beat, good size, great camera, Oculus works.
Drone of the year. Drone of the year.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard drone for me to beat. And what it's gonna take for somebody like me, and I'll let you guys, I'll throw this out to you after I'm done, but for me to say look at like a Mini. Or not Mini, but say like a Mavic 4 Pro, okay, with a controller, okay, it's going to have to walk on water, all right? I mean, I'm being facetious, but for real, it's going to have to do some things.
Because of the sticker shock of the price, right, Bill?
Well, depending on price, Bill, right?
Yeah, it's going to, you're going to see that drone, if you pair it with, say, like a RC Pro 2, okay, you're going to see that go over $4,000.
Give me a high number here. Well, what do you think the max that could be?
I think, grand? And I'm not talking about a Sydney version. I'm just talking a straight up. Okay, you're probably going to be $4,500 on that. I would say.
Is that at the fly more with a smart controller?
Yep.
Okay.
I got to be honest with you. If it is that much, that's going to be a tough one for me. Maybe. I mean, I love drones. Never say never, but boy, oh boy.
Especially if you're flying a 1-inch sensor Mini 5 around, right, Marcus?
Yeah, well, and you guys just were talking about how good the Air 3 is, and as a hobbyist for my level of what I do, I mean, geez.
Yeah, I mean the Air 3, the Air 3 made what if they put dual 1-inch sensors on the Air 3? What if they put the main camera and the 3x tele 1-inch sensors? That makes that like a real home run then, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I really like my Mavic 3 Pro. I have no regrets about buying that drone, but I'm into it. Because I was already to kind of be able to keep my fly more stuff.
You an upgrader.
Right. So really, it didn't cost me that much to upgrade to it. But if it let me just step back just a little bit, Bill. If that whole package, the Mavic 4 with a Fly More kit and with a Pro controller, was $3,500, it'd be real close for me, right? I'd be thinking really, really hard about it.
Right.
That other $500, taking it to $4,000.
I don't know that I 45,
that much, right? I don't, you know, I've got a bunch of drones back here. I don't know if I'd fly it that much.
And I don't get me wrong, or I don't think Mark's wrong either. That 4/3 camera on the main camera, 4/3 camera is the best camera out there on a consumer drone.
Ron and I just had that conversation today, Bill. You just cannot dispute what comes off of that micro 4/3 camera.
The main camera,
Mavic 3. It is stunning, and Ron attributes a lot of it to the Hasselblad color science. It is amazing.
Just an auto. I don't need a whole lot of delogging and stuff with that.
Yeah, it takes care of itself. Well, you know, one of the things that I want to do, and we're going to kind of wrap things up here. One of the things that we can think about, you know, per se, and I'm just going to finish up with the Mavic 4 Pro again too. You know, if they would break it up, just give you a regular base controller like they do with the you know, like we have with the Air 3 or with the Mini 4 Pro, okay, and then have the option to upgrade to like an RC Pro 2 kind of a thing, then that package would be considerably less, probably in the ballpark that you're talking about $3,500, and I think that would be within reach of a lot of people. What do you got?
I definitely could live with a DJI RC 2 type controller for the Mavic 4, and maybe not get the Pro.
I could too.
I don't know. I'm just gonna tell you. I don't know.
You like your Pro?
Yeah.
Well, see, you know, it's the thing, and I did this. Okay, when I had my Mavic 3. All right, you know, I ended up buying the controller after the fact. I didn't buy it bundled. Okay, and I found kind of it was a better price that I got. I think I got it at Arama or B&H. I'm not sure, but I got a little bit better price. I saved about $150, almost $200 on it when I did it. So I did, you know, I kind of shopped smartly. But you make a good point. You know, the controller, it's like, okay, you know, you're getting like strawberries on top of your ice cream. All right.
Right.
You know, when you're getting the RC Pro 2, but the RC, say an RC 2 with that, okay, it's going to work just fine. It's going to give you everything that you need out there. You know, there's no extra bells and whistles.
The screen's brighter, but it's no bigger.
Yeah.
And exactly. I think the truth, I have to be confessional. I mean, I had the RC Pro. Well, they didn't have one of the screens before that. But I mean, I don't use the HDMI out. I don't own third-party apps. I don't take any advantage of most of the upper-level features that the RC Pro offers outside of seeing 300 extra nits.
And the extra buttons and stuff on there, Ron, make a difference.
Well, it does. You have the whatever.
So it's easier when
it's a 5-way joystick. But you know, I even make bad use of the 5-way joystick. I set it all up with all the things I want on, and then never use it.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, that's my own fault that I don't take advantage of every feature it offers. But I don't. So I'm paying a lot of extra money to have 300 more nits on my screen.
Question of the day. What do you think of the next DJI drone? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.